I am standing in front of what might be one of the most historic and interesting palaces in all of Paris. This is the Hôtel de la Marine, and it was probably one of the last things Marie Antoinette saw before the guillotine came down on her in October of 1793. So many tourists walk by this place every day without knowing anything about it. They're busy looking at the square right here with the Egyptian obelisk that Napoleon placed, or the Eiffel Tower behind me across the river, or the view up the Champs-Élysées, or the Tuilleries garden behind me backed by the Louvre. So if you are looking for a major French Revolution historical spot that you've never heard of, or if you want to see stunning furnishings and heavily gilded interiors like you'll see in Versailles, and you don't have time to get all the way out to Versailles, and you'd like to visit somewhere that's quieter, maybe in terms of crowds, definitely add Hôtel de la Marine to your bucket list of places to go. And it is this building right in front of us with the flag. I would venture to call this one of Paris's best kept secrets, hidden right on the main drag. Let's jump into the incredible history of this place, and we're going to go inside and see the stunning original furnishings in the apartments here in this wonderful palace. Originally, the square here in front of the building was called Place Louis XV for Louis XV, who originally created it as a site for a giant statue with him on horseback in 1748. It was surrounded by a square based on the model of other famous sites in Paris like the Place Vendôme and the Place des Vosges. King Louis XV reluctantly donated his own ground for this just outside the Tuileries, which you can see here to the left. After 2 competitions with something like 19 proposals from architects and 5 years of debate, the job was finally awarded to, of course, the king's first architect, Jacques Gabriel. The square was to be bordered by the river, the North Twin Palaces here, and west to the Champs-Élysées and the Queen's Court. During the Revolution, it was changed to Place de la Révolution, and then changed to Place de la Concorde after 1795. After building the gorgeous palaces here on the square, the palaces needed a purpose. So in 1765, the current Hôtel de la Marine was designated to hold the Garde Meuble Royal, which is the department in charge of the king's furnishings. This would have included the selecting, purchasing, and fitting out of royal residences, plus maintaining all of the furnishings of Versailles, Compiègne, Fontainebleau, Marly, Trianon, Saint-Germain-en-Laye, and many others. The department was also tasked with conserving royal collections of arms, armor, tapestries, vases, kitchenware, household linens, and eventually even the crown diamonds. And you'll get a headset to wear as you walk through in your chosen language, so you can see all of where you're going through. It narrates it. Right now we are in the office of the original intendant of the Garde des Meubles who lived here. The department actually eventually filled the whole palace, which would eventually go to include storage areas, workshops, staff apartments, exhibit galleries, and this living space. The steward lived here, and Marie Antoinette had apartments here as well when she was visiting. In 1789, the French Revolution changed the history of this place forever. On July 13th of 1789, the intendant of the Garde Meuble here happened to be off work for the day, or he took a sick day. Unfortunately for him, a band of angry revolutionaries arrived here. This is the regular intendant's bedchamber. The acting intendant that day allowed the angry revolutionaries into the palace and allowed them to take the weapons that were on display here. He asked them to spare the art and tapestries, which they did, but the next day, on July 14th, which is now a national holiday in France, 1789, they took the 2 cannons from here. This is the bathroom with running hot water that would have been from a tank above the ceiling right here. They took the 2 cannons from here to the Bastille to fire the first shots that started the revolution. So if the legend is correct, the first shots fired in the storming of the Bastille were from cannons taken from here that had been gifts to King Louis XIV from the King of Siam. In 1792, the crown jewels, especially the diamonds that were used for coronation crowns of Louis XV and XVI, including the famous Regent diamond, were stolen from the Salon of Diplomats, valued at around 30 million francs. I believe I read somewhere that they were later recovered, but I don't know the whole story to that. 2 of the thieves involved in the heist were caught and became the first of the executions to take place by guillotine in front of the building here. And the rest of the executions during the Revolution took place right in front of this and the identical neighboring building, which is now the Hotel Crillon. You can also see the Hotel de la Marine in every one of the sketches that were done of the time, with the guillotine in the foreground and the Hotel de la Marine in the background. And when you're wearing the headset that they give you to walk through, don't skip that, because it has this wonderful immersive narration that takes you through all of these rooms with background noises and music, and it just makes it feel like you're actually walking through this while it would have been inhabited, which is really a cool, super cool headset to wear to walk through these, as far as the usual handheld audio guides that you get in some of these palaces. And here we have the salon for the guests of the intendant. Look how beautiful these spaces are. And the intendant's wife's bedroom with the beautiful draped bed and little secret doors that go out through the backside. And fireplaces, gorgeous, gorgeous spaces. Little private nooks with desks. I believe this is an intendant's bedroom as well. There are a few of these spaces. This is a cabinet that was built by the first intendant, that is decorated with mirrors all around and cupids, very luxurious little spot. During the restoration, the original office of the first intendant was discovered actually behind the walls of a newer room that was built by the naval offices, and the drop front secretary and table here are original. They were found on display at the Louvre and Versailles. During the Revolution, when King Louis XVI fled Paris for Versailles, the administration of the state still had to meet in Paris, so the Ministry of the Navy moved into some of the spaces on the second floor here in 1789. In less than 10 years, they would have expanded to fill the entire building, and it was renamed the Hotel de la Marine at that time. After the Revolution, of course, the garde meuble was abolished along with the monarchy, and they sold off many of the furnishings and melted down much of the display or anything that had precious metals. And you can see this beautiful hall here. This is actually the hall, I believe, where Napoleon held his coronation ball, in this very building. So these are such famous spaces, and again, everyone walks by here and has no idea these are here. This is the Grand Salon and the Galerie Dorée, which were modified in the 1800s but maintain a lot of the original elements. And fortunately, this building suffered less looting during the Revolution than a lot of the other palaces in Paris. Many of the original pieces, like I said, were found and brought back here. So you get a real feel of what these spaces were like at the time. But can you imagine just a terrific 1804 ball happening here under these gilded ceilings? This place is so amazing. Like I said, if you want to see heavily gilded spaces, stop and visit at Hotel de la Marine, because this is very much like what you're going to see in the very crowded spaces at Versailles and maybe less crowded spaces at Fontainebleau. But look at the mirrors here and the gold, very much like Versailles. During World War II, in June of 1940, the German Navy actually set up their headquarters here as well, and they stayed until August of 1944, when they had to leave ahead of the American and Allied liberation of France. If you're planning a visit here, definitely get online tickets. When I bought tickets here, I actually bought a dual ticket, two separate tickets, one for the apartments here and one to see the Stenay collection that is on loan from the Royal Family of Qatar by agreement for 20 years, each year showing objects of the 5,000 total. Make sure you get tickets to see whatever's going on if you're coming to visit, and get tickets ahead, because when we were standing in the courtyard waiting to get in, and I arrived here 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. when it opened, they were actually turning people away at that point and saying, if you don't have a ticket, go away, we are full for the day. So people were turned away at the door. So definitely get a timed entry ticket online. They're not too expensive, but this is an absolutely stunning place to come. Look at the view here. You can get a clear view of the obelisk, which is on the spot where everyone was executed. You can see the tower, and you can walk through these incredible and stunning interiors and get a sense of what the late 1700s through the 1800s Gilded Age of Paris. We're really like without having to leave the city. I hope you take time to stop by and see this absolutely stunning sort of secret palace sitting right on the main square in the center of Paris. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.